Here's a fly ball out towards center field. This one's going back, and this one is gone! Taylor gets this one out towards center field to the short porch, and it's a grand slam! That's a floater, out to short. And it's booted off the shortstop's glove! Just like they drew it from Hollywood. Caladros, the 3-2. Swing and a miss! And the Audubon Green Wave have upset the Kingsway Dragons! Gone! Grant Fournier! Two-run shot to right!
Welcome to the Camden Athletic Complex. 2 hours ago, this was a place where nobody wanted to be. In fact, it was so bad that the stadium was evacuated because of heavy lightning. And less than 3 hours later, we have returned, and we will be playing a full slate of baseball today from Camden. Johnny Johnson and John Holt are meeting behind the plate. They just broke up for ground rule meetings, as it's the Salem Mighty Oaks who shocked the world versus the two-time national champion Roadrunners of RCSJ yesterday. That was the first of 3 games. That went 12 innings. And then the second game was just as good. Brookdale beat Cumberland 9-8 in a walk-off in 10. We played 27 innings yesterday, which if you do the math, 9 times 3, but the games were 12, 10, and 5. But that's where we're at right now. This is the winner's bracket. Brookdale walking off Cumberland and Salem winning on a game-winning sacrifice fly in the top of the 12th for their first win over the Roadrunners in a long, long time. John Holt's ready to go. 26th-year head coach Johnny Johnson is ready to go for Brookdale, as we've got ourselves good baseball this afternoon from Camden. The weather is actually looking a lot better. We had all cloudy skies a couple of hours ago, and now things have most certainly changed with the weather forecast. As Brookdale takes the field, Salem in their road grays ready to go. As they were the number 4 seed going into this tournament, they continue to be. As they're going to, Brookdale took the field without realizing that they were doing the national anthem. Or maybe they did it in the New York Yankee style. But we will take a quick break, and we'll return with starting lineups, pitcher info, and the first pitch of today's NJCAA Region 19 Final Four game. Tyler Mendez getting the start for Brookdale this afternoon in the first of 2 games today. Here's your starting pitcher stats for today's afternoon ball game. Mendez, a 3.46 ERA, is a freshman hailing from Colonia High School in the GMC Conference. He's got 26 innings, 15 walks, 33 strikeouts, and a 1.35 whip. With that being said, let's introduce what Salem Mighty Oaks have in the lineup card today. Cole Dawson is the shortstop batting leadoff. Yanel Rodriguez is the right fielder. Demetrius Doremus, who played hero yesterday with a 2-run home run with 2 strikes in the 9th inning, he bats third. Matt Murphy is the DH batting fourth. Angel Velez is the catcher. Tyler Hacker at first base. Chris Kelly at third. Jason LeBold in left. And Tim Bowlby is the second baseman. Meanwhile, Pennsville alum Jared Vanderster is the pitcher in this afternoon's contest. Cole Dawson, who yesterday went 1 for 5 in the 12-inning contest, but he had 4 strikeouts in the first 9 innings of yesterday's game, and now he's looking to get some redemption from the leadoff spot. Mendez to Dawson. First pitch is outside. 1-0, and we're underway. First pitch at 2:27 p.m. After a scheduled start of 12 o'clock, got pushed back due to heavy lightning and heavy rain that has since pushed out of here. As Dawson flies that one in the right field. Headed down is Casey Gardner, and he'll make the catch. 1 away here in the top of the first.
Now batting number 3, right fielder Yanuel Rodriguez.
And with 1 away, here in the top of the first, that'll bring up Rodriguez. Oh, and 1 to Rodriguez. Salem, of course, pulled off the upset over RCSJ Gloucester, 30-0 in conference play. And Salem really took advantage, even in adversity, of the win. They struck out 21 times as a team in the ball game and still came around to a 6-5 win. Here's the 0-2 outside. Doremus on deck for the Mighty Oaks. Here's the 1-2. That one's laced into left field. That's a base hit. Salem gets a base hit with 1 away in the top of the first off of the right-hander Mendez, and that'll bring up the center fielder Demetrius Doremus.
Now batting center fielder number 9, Demetrius Doremus.
Doremus, of course, everybody knows now that he played hero in the first round game versus RCSJ Gloucester, a 2-run home run to right center field. Still couldn't believe that happened. I mean, 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the 9th inning. Looked like things were settled in a 5-3 game, and then Doremus took him deep and batted again in the 11th inning of that game. Doremus foul down the right field line. I mean, he is a multi-tool threat for Salem. He's got 38 stolen bases on the year, actually picked up his 39th yesterday, and that was his 7th home run of the year. So he's been an incredible asset to John Holt and the Mighty Oaks during this campaign for the center fielder. With the train passing by overhead, the 0-2 outside. 1-2 to Doremus. Next up will be the designated hitter, Matt Murphy, who threw an inning in the win, 6-5 in 12. Game that lasted 3 hours and 31 minutes. That one is trapped by Andrews. Working it back to 2-2 here. Of course, this being the home field of Rutgers Camden, they won't be occupying this. They'll be at one of the NJCAA Division III regionals in Baltimore, hosted by Johns Hopkins. Of it and gets a base hit in the left. The hit and run's going to work to perfection. Heading down the third, the throw is not in time. And a little two-part play right there as DeRamus singles through the left side and moves the runner to third.
Now batting for the Salem Mighty Oaks, the designated hitter, number 16, Matt Murphy.
And back-to-back singles brings up Murphy with runners on the corners and one away. First pitch. That's outside. Throw down to second is not in time. And Johnson telling his pitchers, I need him today. I mean, Johnson's a very adamant coach. He's one of those guys that's kind of like an ultimatum coach. You know, you either do enough for him or you don't. Really no middle ground. There's a swing and a miss. 1-1. RCSJ Cumberland was the only team eliminated in last night's play. There was the elimination game that closed out yesterday's festivities. RCSJ Gloucester beat their cross-county rivals 12-1 in 5 innings. That one's outside. Roadrunners hit 5 home runs in the victory, including a grand slam to left by Matt Brunner. But the wind actually might be beneficial to the hitters today, which is very rare for this Camden Park. We saw it when the Raptors played Stockton a few weeks ago, but that was a pretty rare anomaly. You know, if you go here more than a few times during the season, 9 times out of 10, the wind is going to be at your face. Very rarely is it at your back and actually blowing out, in this case out towards center field. 3-1. Swing and a miss. Murphy took a big hack that time, and it's 3-2. Velez on deck. As Murphy looks to give the Mighty Oaks their first run of the day in the top of the first. The payoff. Swing and a miss. They're going to say he's out, so he runs it down the first, but to no avail. And there are 2 outs. It's a good redemption strikeout there.
Catcher, number 7, Angel Velez.
Very good redemption strikeout from Mendez that time. He was down 3-1 in the count. Looks like he got a slider and then a fastball that Murphy was early both times and just didn't do him any favors. And I think after that 3-1 swing that didn't go well, didn't put him in any favors for the 3-2. First pitch to Velez is fouled towards the light tower and towards the soccer field and left. We were at that soccer field back in August for a soccer game between Camden County and RCSJ Gloucester at the start of the fall season. The press box that's behind us and is on wheels was actually moved to the soccer field for those games. Outside to the catcher from Reading. 1-1. Salem does have a handful of out-of-state talent. They've picked up a couple players from Delaware, from Newcastle County, Middletown, some Wilmington products, and then some PA products as well, like Velez from Salem. Not to mention Hacker, the batter on deck, who grew up in Lake City, Florida, and as we got a tip from Al Muskowitz earlier yesterday, was neighbors with MLB outfielder Dylan Cruz growing up. 2-1. That's a line shot. Oh, it hit the umpire. That is a dead ball. And how are they going to call this? It hit the umpire right in the ankle. Checking on the umpire, making sure he's okay. Looks like that might be the Cumberland trainer coming out to help. Seems like he got shaken up a little bit there. And he is going to stay in the game. So because that hit the umpire,
first baseman, number 28, Tyler Hacker.
So the situation in that case, the bases are now loaded with 2 outs. That is credited as a single and a dead ball because it hit the umpire. Good news is, though, the umpire is okay, and Bases are loaded for the Mighty Oaks. Strike call, beautiful slider by Mendez. So 3 singles have loaded the bases, and it's an 0-1 count and a scoreless first. Here's the 0-1 for Mendez, outside. One. Another slider, catches the zone. 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, bases loaded with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning as Mendez looks to get out of the jam. Right-hander is set. Kicks and delivers. Way up and inside with Hacker crowding the batter's box. Oh. 2-2. And the 2-2 pitch from Mendez is outside. 3-2. Salem's dugout with the simple command, base hit, ball 4, looking to put the Mighty Oaks on the board. Mendez is set. The 3-2. That's going to skip in the dirt. Run will score. A second run is coming behind him. Here's the throw. It's going to be in plenty of time. Ooh, that actually might have been close. Getting under the tag there. And John Holt kind of says, my bad at third, but John Holt's trying to argue that he was safe. But 1 run comes across. An exceedingly greedy send ends the inning.
There's food available here at the game.
And going to the bottom of the first, it's 1-0.
Behind the dugout on the first base sides, Anthony's.
Here in the bottom of the first inning, let's take a look at that play that hit the umpire at short. You can see right there, oh man, hit him right in the foot. And you can see the umpire behind home plate immediately calls a dead ball. And here in the bottom of the first, it will be Lopez leading off the party for the Mighty Oaks. Excuse me, for the Jersey Blues. That one's fouled back.
On the mound here today for the Mighty Oaks is number 24, Jared Vandister.
Let's introduce Jared Vandister while we're at it, the product out of Pennsville. The product out of Pennsville for Salem. He's your starter today for the Mighty Oaks. as he's got a 2.8 ERA in 64 and a third innings, 62 strikeouts and 24 walks, and a whip of 1.6 as that's a base hit in the center field. Sorry about the technical difficulties there. As Vanderster gives up his first hit, and it's to Justin Lopez. Let's introduce the rest of the Brookdale starting lineup for the home team today, presented by Harper Driving School. We just saw Justin Lopez get a base hit. Declan Sheehan now bats in center field. At first, behind the dish will be Shane Andrews in the 3 spot. Gary John Peron in left field. Anthony Martino at second. Jacob Ramirez the DH. Junior Nunez the third baseman. Rich Kernan, who homered yesterday, is at first base. And planting himself in right field is the 9-hitter Casey Gardner. Sheehan is late, and he fouls it back. Vanderster, a hometown guy for Salem. Pennsville only about 5 to 10 minutes away from Kearney's Point, where the community college is. Brookdale by far has to travel the farthest of any team participating in this tournament. Just about an hour down in the Shore Conference area as the 0-2. Kind of that northern part of the shore. You know, like when you think of South Shore, you think of Atlantic Cape, maybe Stockton area, Cape May County, but then this is more up near like Long Branch and Del Barton and Keensburg, Asbury Park, all of that. And Homedale as well. 1-2. On the outside corner, didn't go. I think that was a good call that time. Like I said, 99% of the time, if I'm not behind home plate, I don't provide any commentary on strike zones or anything like that because it's not my job. That one is high. Look at this throw down to second base. He is safe. The throw got bobbled. And Lopez will stay put at second. And it's now a 3-2 count, now with a runner in scoring position. Still thinking what could have been for Salem if they got more than one run home. I mean, that was, I know that this is a big backstop, but that was still a very greedy send to try to get that second run home on the wild pitch. Outside, ball 4. A single and a walk, and now Andrews is the batter.
Number 5, Shane Andrews.
Andrews manning the catcher's spot today in the third slot in the batting order. First pitch, strike called, 0-1. Andrews out of Red Bank Catholic, the sophomore, batting .459 with 8 home runs, 61 RBIs, and 5 stolen bases for the catcher. He got banged up in yesterday's game, but elected to stay in and has done pretty well for himself out of the 3 slot. Stepping back and throwing it down to second. Patco train going overhead. I honestly wasn't sure if the Patco trains would be running with the recent rail service disruption, but I don't think that Patco and NJ Transit are aligned. Even with the current rail strike that went in effect this morning, the River Line was still running this morning in Camden. I know that the majority of service that has been affected is in North Jersey, especially because NJ Transit, the trains bring you into Madison Square Garden. Once you go to New York Penn Station, if you've never taken the train into New York City, you can go to Penn Station and it literally drops you off a floor beneath Madison Square Garden. You just walk up the stairs and you're in. Big swing and a miss by Andrews, and it's 2-2. But not only that, this rail disruption comes at a time where the Knicks are playing a home playoff game at the Garden tonight, and Beyonce is having a concert at MetLife Stadium. So if you can't go there, why don't you watch some JUCO baseball instead? We've got 2 games today. The winner of this plays RCSJ Gloucester around 30 minutes after the end of Game 1. I know where I want to be. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Andrews. Again, the former product of Red Bank Catholic, the Caseys. As the 2-2, strike 3 called on the outside corner. And Andrews goes down on strikes, bringing up the cleanup man, Gary John Peron.
Now batting for the Jersey Blues, the left fielder, number 3, Gary John Peron.
Good disruption there that time. Single and a walk to start the inning, and you don't want to get too far behind. So the last thing that you want is to have that kind of, lingering over your head of what could I have done. But in this situation, you don't have to worry about it. You've got a good rhythm right now. 2 on and 1 out. Double play could end the inning, for all we know. That's a ground ball. That's over the middle into center field. Green light from third. Oh, the runner falls down on the turf. We've got a logjam. The pitcher falls down as well. We've got a slip and slide. The runner is out. Where is everybody? The run scores. The runner at third fell, and so did the pitcher Vanderster. Maybe the ground's a little bit slick because of the rain that came in. So now, okay. So laying it out now, there's runners on first and second, 1 out, and the game is tied. Yeah, I knew that run counted, but I was just so confused at where everybody was because the third runner, Lopez, fell down, and then Vanderster right behind him also went for a slide. Misses. Tough one there, and it's 2-0. So that is going to be scored as an RBI single because Lopez, even after his hiccup, did come in to score. Sheehan looks like he's still on second. One's fouled back. Yeah, so Sheehan is still on second, and then Peron is on first. So I think, no, it was Martino on first. Okay, so Peron was out at second because of the logjam. There's a strike called there. Where did everybody get in there? Now I'm doubting myself. Now I'm second guessing. No, it is Peron on first base. Okay. Yeah, ignore everything I just said. So there's 1 out. Peron, nobody was out on the play. Just Sheehan got him back in safely. That's a base hit in the left field. Going to send the runner from third. They're going to throw it back to second. No relay home, and Brookdale takes the lead, 2-1. 1 out RBI single by Martino. Back-to-back RBIs. Makes it 2-1. Sheehan scores. Holding up at second is Peron, and now Jacob Ramirez is the batter. Strike called. 0-1. Vanderster ready, and the 0-1 is a strike called on the outside corner, hugging the white line, and it's 0-2. First 3 for Salem in the top half of the second will be Kelly, LeBold, and Bowlby, 7, 8, and 9 for the Mighty Oaks. Vanderster looks back, the 0-2. Should mention they do have to still get the second and third outs of the inning. Junior Nunez, the third baseman, is on deck for Brookdale. A day that started off rather bleak with heavy rain and, as I like to call it, unprovoked flash photography. Had a lot of lightning, and we were going to start at 1, and then they said 2, and got it to 2:30, and then we started right around on time at 2:27. Can't be mad at that, getting a 3-minute head start. Vanderster from the stretch. 1-2. Slider outside. 2-2. Jacob Ramirez, who did not play in the first game yesterday. Product of St. John Vianney in Keyport, New Jersey. Ramirez on the ground. That one gets slid in at second base. Throw to first. He goes to cover the bag. He got him. Beautiful diving stop at second base by Bowlby. And it results in the second out of the inning. Runners on second and third here for Brookdale. That'll be scored as a 4-3 against Ramirez. Now here's Nunez. Strike one to Nunez. 75 degrees at first pitch. Hard to believe we're actually playing right now after less than an hour ago being in a flash flood warning. But that was the problem that the Roadrunners had last year. They hosted the Region 19 tournament in Deffert Township, and while everything was delayed a day, so they played 3 games, RCSJ themselves played 27 innings straight against Brookdale and then respectively Northampton for 2 games. But that was because the rain was bad enough to muddle the field enough on that day that they had to push everything back a little extra. I think if this field wasn't turf, we wouldn't be playing right now. We wouldn't be playing today at all. But the drainage systems at this new field in Camden really have allowed it to be magical in that way. That's a good pitch by Vanderster. Damage is done as 7 batters come to the plate for the Jersey Blues. However, 2 runs come in to score on 3 hits. We're through 1 in City of Camden. It's 2-1 Jersey Blues. Garden State Pet Center is an independently owned full-service pet store. Our specialty is promoting companionship between people and animals by providing the healthiest product choices available, including all-natural foods, supplements that support and relieve health issues, and innovative products for pet parents. Our goal is to provide our customers with a relaxing environment, and while we're not striving to be the biggest store on the East Coast, we're striving to be the best. No other pet store will make you feel at home like we do. At Garden State Pet Center, we view pets as members of the family. We don't believe in fast, high-pressure sales, but instead matching up the right pet with the right owners, as you are making a lifelong commitment. Together with our team members, we would like your visit to our store to be both enjoyable and educational. Simply drop in and take a look around. View the birds, reptiles, small animals, toys, food, cages, and miscellaneous items. Learn of the services we have to offer and decide for yourself if this is the store you'd like to call your home away from home.
Victor Santucci, owner of Garden State Pet Center. Visit us today at 226 South Whitehorse Pike in Audubon, New Jersey. We're open 7 days a week for all of your pets.
Here in Camden, it's a 2-1 Brookdale lead after 1. First pitch misses. 7, 8, 9 as first 6 came up for Salem in the top half of the first. Scoring 1 on a wild pitch. Tried to take a second home. Tried to get some leftovers. Instead threw him out in the trash. Got thrown out of home. Score remains 2-1 here with Chris Kelly manning the third base position this afternoon. One's inside, 3-0. strike called, 3-1. I think I found a good place for us to put a camera. See if we can get a good shot here. There you go. Foul tip, and it's 3-2. The pedestrian bridge recently reopened on the Ben Franklin. We saw some folks traveling on it yesterday. I made a note of it because I'm like, you know, I see people walking on the bridge, and I knew that there was a pedestrian bridge here, but I had never really seen it being used. I think when I went over it a couple months ago, it was closed for construction, but it has since reopened. Saw hundreds of people walking the bridge yesterday. It was a beautiful night, right around 70 degrees and clear with light wind. Like, if it was a windy day, as it usually is in Camden, I wouldn't walk the pedestrian bridge. On a day like today, most likely I would. There's a swing and a miss. Great comeback by Mendez. Comes back from a 3-0 count and strikes out Chris Kelly. It's his second of the day, and now LeBold, the left fielder, will bat for the Mighty Oaks.
Fielder number 4, Jason Lebo.
I walked over it when I was a girl.
High up there.
Back when dinosaurs roamed the earth.
Oh, that one hit him
Ooh,
right in the elbow.
that's smarted.
That'll be a hit by pitch for LeBold, bringing up Bowlby now.
Now batting for Salem.
Tim Bowlby out of Middletown, Delaware. 160 average, 17 RBIs, and 10 stolen bases for him. .57, 155. Definitely glad to see some Delaware products getting some love at the JUCO level, because Delaware high school athletics, you know, as somebody who has worked New Jersey high school athletics for so many years, I think Delaware is forgotten so much. Just because there's 21 counties in New Jersey, Delaware has 3. I mean, I might be wrong, but Delaware might not even have 1 million people in it. Jersey's right around 8 or 9 million. Even South Jersey seems pretty heavily populated. Pick back to first. It is not in time. And yeah, it is under 1 million. 989,000 for Delaware. Right behind Rhode Island. 0-2. Delaware was the site of our first ever out-of-state broadcast on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. Frankly enough, when we worked for Salem Community College back in October of 2023. That's a swing and a miss by Bowlby. We turn the lineup card back over with 2 down and runner on for Cole Dawson.
Now batting the shortstop, number 12, Cole Dawson.
Might have been early November, but we did 2 games with Angel Rodriguez and Salem softball over in Wilmington at a college fall showcase. They played Chesapeake College in the first game and won it 10-1. There's a swing and a miss, throw down to second. It's not in time. My apologies, he took that one. It's 1-0. Hard to swing and miss and get a ball, so process of elimination, it's 1-0. But then the second game they played at the NCAA Division II, Wilmington University. First and to this day only time that DWB has covered anything higher than NCAA Division III. There's a strike called. Oh, it is 0-2. My apologies. They put up 1-0 on the scoreboard. I got confused, but we got to settle in here just like the players do, as the throw down to second is in time. Side retired. They were back picking them over at first, and this time they finally get the fruits of their labors. We're through 1.5. 2-1 Brookdale. Kernan leads us off in the bottom of the second for Brookdale. He homered in yesterday's 9-8 10-inning win over the Dukes. I think it's a breath of fresh air to have 4 teams that are all relatively uniquely named in this tournament. Sometimes I get sick and tired of high school games where I have to cover the Panthers and the Rams for the 20th time in a row, or the Lions, or the Eagles. Something cheap. This is the Mighty Oaks, named after the prominent presence of oak trees in Salem County, mostly when it started to gain settlements in the late 1800s. Obviously, there were settlements before that, but the real cities like Penns Grove, Pennsville, and the city of Salem. A lot of oak trees in that area, especially once you get down towards the Woodstown and Piles Grove area. The Roadrunners, of course. I talked to the people at the university. They're not sure what they're exactly named after, maybe except for the Looney Tunes cartoon. Might be the only thing. And then you have also the RCSJ Cumberland Dukes. I was going to look for J.D. Giacomo because maybe he would have the answer to it, but he's around here somewhere. There's a strike called 0-1. And then, of course, the Jersey Blues of Brookdale. 9-hitter is Casey Gardner. Up and in, 1-1. The Jersey Blues themselves, though, it has nothing to do with blues as in a rock and roll genre like the St. Louis Blues hockey team. It's actually a former military militia organization formed in Piscataway, which is where Rutgers is, in 1673. And according to their website, it is the oldest uniformed military militia organization in point of continuous service on the Western continents. Gardner fouls it back, and it hits Johnny Johnson, the 26th-year head coach here at Brookdale. But the Jersey Blues became a part of the Continental Army during the Revolutionary War, and they were a big part in the defeat of the British during the Battle of Monmouth, which is where Brookdale is in Monmouth County. The Jersey Blues still exist as a National Guard regiment in New Jersey, and since 1972 have been named as the Brookdale's athletic mascot. But 1673, I mean, that was right in between, well, let's see, when was Roanoke? That was 1605. And then, you know, you think about Plymouth Rock was maybe 20 years after that. And then, of course, the Revolutionary War itself was about 100 years after the Jersey Blues were formed. But hence why they're called the Jersey Blues. 1-2 is fouled back. I mean, hey, they're not in this tournament, and I'm not sure if they even have a baseball program, but Sussex County, the Skylanders for the Appalachian Mountains in Sussex County. As a 1-2. Or maybe I'm confusing it with Warren. I'm not sure. The throw down to first base is a nice scoop, and he got him. That'll be the second out, bringing the lineup card back to the top for Lopez in the bottom of the third.
Justin Lopez.
The only unique Jersey high school names that I can think of, Belvedere is one of them, the Belvedere County Cedars. And they are solely named because, can't remember what county they're in, but they are the county seat of that county. Pretty straightforward. Salem High School themselves are named the Rams. It's funny, we did a basketball game one time between the Salem Rams and the Gloucester Catholic Rams. And I kept tripping over myself during the game because I'm thinking to myself, I don't know how I'm going to call these teams because they're the exact same thing. You usually don't have that problem in college there are enough. I mean, there's no more than one Crimson Tide. There's no more than one Buckeyes. I'm sure there's more than one Georgia Bulldog. I mean, Bulldogs outside of Georgia.
Haddonfield.
Well, no, I'm talking about college.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know why I can't think. I think Drake University. That would be the other one I would think of in Missouri. But either way, though, Steele dealing with a good spot here with the leadoff man Lopez, who singled and scored in his first at-bat. That one is a strike, 2-2. Next up will be the center fielder Declan Sheehan if the inning continues. 2-2. Fouled back at bat, stays alive. Two to 1 Brookdale over Salem in the top of, I keep saying top of, the bottom of the second inning. As the 2-2. Outside. Count is full. Well, I think Salem's doing pretty well again. I mean, they showed that they can beat the best. They were 27-24 in the regular season. Had around the same record sliced in the GSAC. As the 3-2 is outside. Vanderster gives up a walk, his second. His first was to Declan Sheehan in the first inning, who bats now, but Lopez will get a first base residency with two away.
55, Declan Sheehan.
This broadcast is brought to you by Garden State Pet Center. Keep your pet happy and healthy today with the most organic food products available in South Jersey, along with toys, cages, accessories, and much, much more. You can visit today or 7 days a week at 226 South White Horse Pike in Audubon. That foul ball hits on Delaware Avenue. The catcher Andrews is on deck. He's got his knee pads on just in case the inning doesn't continue. Remember, in college, there's no courtesy runner like there is with high school. In high school, a catcher can be run for and a pitcher can be run for with 2 outs for the sake of getting the catcher back to the dugout and getting their knee pads back on. In this, there's no such luxury, which, honestly, I don't think that rule should be a thing in high school either. But the throw down to second base is good. Oh, it gets bobbled. It either hit the base or it hit the glove of Bowlby. Couldn't tell from that angle. But either way, runner gets down to second, and Lopez giving Brookdale a bit of a wider door here. Two balls, 1 strike to Sheehan. 2-1. Strike called. Count is 2-2 here. Again, Andrews, the catcher, on deck for Brookdale. He's 0 for 1 today. Struck out his first time. Sheehan was walked and then scored the second run for the Jersey Blues. That's strike 3 on the outside corner. That'll retire the side. Vanderster gets 2 strikeouts. He's got 4 total today, as the Mighty Oaks will look to regain the lead that they had briefly in the first through 2 here in Camden, 2-1. In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Cole Dawson leads us off in the top of the third. This broadcast is brought to you by Harper Driving School. Over 90% of students who take their New Jersey State driving test with Harper pass on the first attempt. If you like those odds, you can book an appointment today at Suite 4 of the Total Turf Complex in Pittman at 614 Lambs Road. Slider forces Dawson to miss, and it's 0-2. Top of the card for the Mighty Oaks. Dawson, Rodriguez, and Doremus. 0-2. Outside. Fouled back. By the way, I did get confirmation from Athletic Director J.D. Giacomo about the history of the Dukes. There is no history. Just like the Roadrunners don't have any rhyme or reason why. There was a student survey done many decades ago, and that's what they settled on. I think by far the most interesting is the Jersey Blues, with the history of the Revolutionary War behind it, considering how important New Jersey was as a state during the war. As that one's high, 3-2. Dawson, who struck out 4 times and went 1 for 5 all told, actually went 1 for 6, check that, in the first game yesterday versus the Roadrunners. He's 0 for 1 with a fly out to right to start the game. The payoff. Fouled back towards Delaware Ave once again. That one actually went onto the soccer field, out down the right side, crossed the street. Honestly, pretty impressive. 3-2, swings and misses. Andrews is going to get the rebound. Throw to first is wide. There's a collision at first base. The runner's going to be safe, but Dawson... he's banged up down there. See if he's all right. And now Rodriguez is the batter. So that will be the fourth strikeout. Check that for Mendez, but it'll be a dropped third strike as Dawson is okay and will remain in the game. First pitch to Rodriguez, swing and a miss on the slider outside. I mean, Mendez has been very strikeout heavy this year. He doesn't have that many strikeouts across 22 innings, but he's been pretty good at getting those Ks because he's got 4 of them so far. And if you think about it this way, listen, Salem in 12 innings yesterday struck out as a team 21 times. In addition to that, they put up 4 errors in the field as well. That's hard to win with that formula, but they did it. They overcame the odds. They played good baseball when it mattered. And that sacrifice fly in the 12th won the game. Shows bunt, double clutch by Andrews, and that's the difference maker. He's safe at second. Andrews with a bit of hesitation, and the hesitation makes him pay. Runner down at second now with Dawson pulling in. And now the leadoff man and shortstop, formerly of Kingsway, now a sophomore with Salem, pulls into scoring position with, again, the power hitter. I don't even know what you want to call him. Power hitter, speedster. This is a bunt. Mendez has it. It's a successful 1-3 sacrifice. And that's out number 1.
Center fielder number 9, Demetrius Doremus.
And it successfully moves Dawson to third. Doremus at the dish now. Strike. Doremus went 3 for 4. Actually, check that, 3 for 5 in the 12-inning win. He was intentionally walked against Mason Dobbs in the 12th. Big swing and a miss. Doremus wanted to send that one back to Philadelphia, and it's 0-2. Doremus, a PA product himself out of William Penn Charter in Lancaster. Strike 3. No. Yes, sorry. I saw him stay in the box and very confused myself there as Doremus.
Now batting for the Mighty Oaks is the designated hitter, number 16, Matt Murphy.
Fifth strikeout of the day for Murphy. For Mendez. Got to get myself some speech classes here as Murphy is the batter. As the DH for the Mighty Oaks. Murphy cranks the ball. Right center field. Sheehan going over. This one's going to stay in the ballpark, and he makes the catch. Side retired. Salem gets a runner on third thanks to a dropped third strike, but fails to score. We go to the bottom of the third. Still 2-1, Jersey Blues. Looking at the replay here in the bottom of the third inning. In the top of the third, this was a dropped third strike. You can see it gets behind Andrews and just rebounded right back to him, and then the throw down to first. Oh, man, just got tripped up there. Luckily, everybody seemed to be okay, including the runner who got to third but did not score. Count is 0-1 to the aforementioned Andrews. 3, 4, and 5 for Brookdale in the bottom half of the third. Here's the 0-1. That's hit out towards short, backhanded, fired across the diamond. The turf will be his friend, and he gets the play done. Andrews is retired, and now Johnson's coming out. I'm not sure if he's going to argue with the umpire or if he's going to – not sure what the call was there, but – Johnson retreats. Now Gary John Peron is the batter out of the left spot. The cleanup man for Brookdale this afternoon. Outside, 1-0. Gary John Peron, the freshman out of Tottenville High School in Staten Island. A major in business and sports management, 350 average, 12 RBIs, and 20 runs scored in 31 games for the Blues. There's a swing and a miss. 9 walks, 9 strikeouts in 60 at-bats. I mean, honestly, a strikeout rate that low is pretty commendable. 9 strikeouts and 60 at-bats, especially for a very contending team. That's always a good asset that's a little bit hidden in the numbers. There's a swing and a miss. 1-2. On deck will be Martino. One ball, 2 strikes to GJP. That wall's ripped right field. This one's up, and this ball is gone! Gary John Peron extends the lead for Brookdale. Gets a long ball out to right center field, the same spot Rich Kernan hit one yesterday. And the Jersey Blues lead it now 3-1. Gary John Peron, that's his first home run of the season in his 32nd game. He cranks that one out to right center field.
The second baseman, number 4, Anthony Martino.
And that makes it a 2-run game for the Blues. First pitch from Vanderster. That one is fouled back. So remember the itinerary for today's games. Today is the winner's bracket game. Both of these teams won their first round matchups. Salem as the 4-seed beat Gloucester. Brookdale as the 2-seed beat Cumberland. That one's outside, 1-1. And then the second game of today will be a back-to-back. The winner of this game plays RCSJ Gloucester. I think either matchup should be good. The 1-1 is down, 2-1. And then Saturday's matchups, we'll see the second semifinal in the championships. Two one. So this kind of informally acts as the first semifinal, because whoever wins this will be 2-0 and will get their ticket punched to the finals. There's a ground ball out towards short. Picked up, throw across, is scooped, and it gets away from Hacker. Making a turn and holding there is Martino. And Ramirez will be the batter. They will score it on the video board here as a base hit, which I think is respectable. It was a tough play deep in the shortstop slot for Dawson, and Martino, being the guy who he is, probably unlikely to get thrown out normally on that play. So I think a hit is fair. Ripped into the left center field gap. This is going to perfectly split center and left. It's picked up. Damaris with a strong throw. It skips into the third baseman. That will be a long single for Ramirez, who parks it at first. Back-to-back one-base knocks for the Jersey Blues, as the third baseman, Junior Nunez, will be the batter in the 7 slot for Brookdale. First pitch strike. 0-1. Rich Kernan, the outfielder's on deck. Time called to the batter, Nunez. Some Gloucester players arriving here for their, well, I was going to say a 3 o'clock game, but probably going to be starting around 5:30 if I had to guess. That ball got fouled back, and it's 0-2. This game started right around 2:30 this afternoon with the rain delay. I said before, if we were not playing on a turf field, we would not be playing at all today. The problems from last year with the drainage, and they had to delay the game an entire day, and then they played 27 innings in a row. One team played 27 innings in a row. Very much think that this was the right call for getting a game like this done. Playing it at a neutral site is always a great thing, and I think it makes for some really good products to shine when you're not at a, quote, home field. That's a ground ball. Oh, he double clutched. Throw down. He tagged the bag. He got him. The run does score. That being Martino, and Nunez is retired. Shortstop, shortstop Hudson got really lucky there. And he looked like he wanted to turn two, and then he double clutched. He faked it, threw it to first, and Kernan pops it on the first pitch. Shallow left field. This could be trouble, but LeBold is there as everybody clears the space, and the sign is retired. Brookdale gets 2 runs home, including on a solo shot to right center by Gary John Peron, his first of the year. We're through 3, 4-1 in favor of the Jersey Blues. Velez leading us off for the Mighty Oaks in the top of the 4th. This broadcast is brought to you by DAWG Pro Wrestling, Dog Pro Wrestling, New Jersey's premier pro wrestling organization in the Garden State with high-flying events and nonstop entertainment. For more information on future events, including their most recent one at Rowan University in the Rowan After Hours special, you can visit their website for future events and ticketing at dawgprowrestling.com. Also, if you're a small business looking for advertising in South Jersey, we are looking for advertisers for the summer and fall of 2025. They're affordable rates that bring your name in the advertising game in front of over 100,000 annual viewers on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, along with our 6,000-plus social media followers across Instagram, X, and Facebook. You can send me an advertising inquiry at thedanwilkinsshow@gmail.com for more information. As Sheehan makes the catch in center field, Velez is retired on the flyout. We'll send you a flyer with inquiries on how to get your name in the game and get yourself advertised in front of South Jersey's largest independent broadcasting organization. Very excited for what we have planned this summer. Some deals that I can't announce yet, but that will be coming out in the next couple of weeks in terms of some baseball opportunities, some soccer opportunities. Going to be doing it all this summer. Football schedule should be coming out soon as well in the next month or two. 2 big swings by Murphy. No, excuse me, by Hacker. Murphy ended the third, and Hacker lines this one to center field. Sheehan let it drop. And that's a base hit for Hacker, who gets himself his second trip on base today after a walk in the first inning. Brings up Chris Kelly. Kelly out of Delsey in Gloucester County, 6 foot 195 as a sophomore, 242 average with 4 homers and 30 RBIs. The throw down to second is wide. Stays in the infield, though, and the runner gets down to second base. Still trying to figure out what they're saying. Vamo is in go, I guess?
See.
I don't know. I took 3 years of Spanish in high school. Didn't do me any good.
Vámonos means to go. Vamos.
You try one time to order in Spanish at some Latin restaurant to make yourself look cool. I failed. Did that badly. 1 and 2 here to Kelly. Did that for Yanel Rodriguez as well. Left fielder LeBold is on deck in the 8 slot. Same lineup from game 1 into game 2 here for the Mighty Oaks, as that one is a slider outside. 2 and 2. LeBold, another Philadelphia product right over the bridge in the Philadelphia Catholic League, a product of Father Judge High School. He's on deck for the Mighty Oaks. That one is a swing and a miss. Andrews has it. Throw to first is in time as Kernan tags the bag, and there are 2 away here in the top of the 4th for LeBold now. 5 Ks for Mendez, the right-hander for the Jersey Blues. "90 feet away for Salem, as that one misses up and in, 1-0. That's one of the things on my, quote, DWB bucket list, is getting in with Philadelphia Catholic League schools, just because there are so many great opportunities there with historic programs. Father Judge, Roman Catholic, Archbishop Wood, Archbishop Carroll, Newman Goretti. I think there's more schools in the Philadelphia Catholic League there alone than there are Catholic high schools in South Jersey. It's only about 6 or 7 I can name off the top of my head. Oh, big swing and a miss there. And LeBold, who tried to send that ball back to Father Judge on that swing, makes it 1 and 2. He'll have to regroup here, and a 4-1 Brookdale lead. The runner Hacker did move down the third on the strikeout, but the 9-hitter Bowlby is on deck for the 8 and 9 hitters. Both of these Mighty Oaks batting under 200. That one misses. Good frame by Andrews. Didn't go. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and a 3-run lead for the Jersey Blues in the top of the 4th. Mendez delivers. Swing and a miss. Something popped out there on the swing, but the side is retired as Mendez up to a half dozen, and we'll be right back.
May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It is the responsibility of all of us to make sure that our friends, family, and anybody who we hold dear in our lives is feeling well. The problem with spotting mental health issues is that the symptoms aren't that obvious. Just because someone is okay or appears okay on the outside doesn't mean that they're okay on the inside. It's important that if they are in distress, that they call the right people and they get the help that they need.
And it is very important that we treat each other with respect, regardless of who you are or where you come from. But it is just as important that we treat ourselves with respect, regardless of the situation going on in our lives.
If you're in distress, you can call this number, 988, or you can visit any of these websites if you're not in distress, but would like to learn more information about mental health awareness and research.
Strike one called to start the bottom of the fourth to Gardner. 9-1-2. Gardner, Lopez, and Sheehan in the bottom of the fourth. The week ahead on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, of course, we had 3 games yesterday. We've got 2 today and 2 on Saturday. On Sunday, we'll be at the American Ball Hockey National Tournament in West Deptford with 4 games total on the day, starting at 12 noon and running deep into the night at West Deptford for national deck hockey action with teams from the Midwest, Massachusetts, Long Island, and some from the West Coast as well coming over out to West Deptford and competing for a national crown. Monday, we'll be back in the high school action for the last week of the regular season. Monday, May 19th, will be an Olympic Conference gauntlet between the Eastern Vikings and the Cherokee Chiefs at 3:45. We are off Tuesday. Wednesday will be Delsea versus Kingsway at 4 o'clock. Thursday will be Lenape at Bordentown in a Burlington County clash between the Olympic and BCSL conferences at 4 o'clock on Thursday. And then Saturday, May 24th, as the brackets close up, we'll have our final regular season game of the year, Bishop Eustace versus Cherry Hill West, a rescheduled game on Saturday, May 24th. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hit out towards center field. It's up there, but Damaris coming in for it. Makes the catch. Gardner's retired. 1 away.
The shortstop, number 6, Justin Lopez.
Lopez has reached base twice, a single and a walk to his name today. Popped up, first base side, trailing over his Hacker. He makes the catch over the shoulder. And there's 2 away. Salem needs a couple shutdown innings here. I mean, they did it well enough for themselves in the second, but you know, just looking back at what they've accomplished, 2 runs in the first, 2 in the third, including the long ball by Gary John Peron and 2 singles. Outside, 1-0. Count. Vanderster misses away. Good frame that time by Velez. Salem with 1 run on 3 hits, no errors on the board. Brookdale with 4 runs, 6 hits, also no errors. As that goes into center field for a base hit, Declan Sheehan. 2 out knock back up the middle, fading towards Bowlby. And now it's Andrews.
Next up for Brookdale, the catcher, number 5, Shane Andrus.
There is an arm warming up, not in the bullpen, but on the soccer field. Here, there is only 1 bullpen space per team. Don't think they had the room in the foul territory for a second bullpen slot, but one's a strike called. That has confused me a little bit because if they wanted to, they could flare out the fence towards the sidewalk and add maybe another 6 feet of space and have a second cutout for bullpen pitchers. So that if Brookdale and or Salem wanted to warm up more than 1 pitcher at a time, like they've got somebody throwing from the flat ground out and right, but Brookdale's going to have 2 pitchers warming up. One of them is going to have to warm up from the flat ground on the soccer field down the third base line. 0-2 is fouled back by Andrews. But that field where Rutgers Camden plays their soccer games for men and women's soccer, and along with that, we were here one time for a summer districts game as the throw down to second is not in time. Got in there. but we were here for a summer game. I think it was between Ariel and Haddon Heights in district play, and just somebody was working out on the side, and everybody's crowded up against the rail, and I'm like, well, why are people watching this random guy work out? It was not a random guy. It was Hassan Reddick, linebacker who spent a year with the Eagles and now is with the Jets. Line drive. Andrews kills the ball in the right field. It gets dropped down there. Andrews will hold. It's an RBI single for the catcher, Shane Andrews, and he extends Brookdale's lead to 4. It is 5-1. Back-to-back knocks for Brookdale. And now Gary John Peron, who's been putting up a good clinic today, 2 for 2, single and a home run. That one's hit out towards left center field. It's hit well. It's up there. Going back. It's going to one-hop, and it is going to get down. Here comes Andrews. He's going to hustle in from first. He will score. The throw gets away. It's going to go into the Brookdale dugout, and both runs will score. 7-1. That's going to be a triple to be followed by an error somewhere in the field. And even despite being ho-hum with 2 outs, 3 runs have come to play for Brookdale. So that is going to be, I believe it's going to be an E6. And now here's Martino batting with a clean slate. Bases empty and 2 outs. Here's the pitch from Vanderster. That's a line drive. They're putting a clinic on the baseball. It's out to right center field. Bounces off of the wall in right center. Damaris picks it up. He's on his horse. He's going to third. The relay is not in time. That's a triple. Back-to-back for Brookdale. And Anthony Martino gets one of the best hits we've seen all day off of Vanderster. And now Salem's pitching coach will come out and have a quick chat with the Pennsville right-hander Vanderster. The batter will be Ramirez. Back-to-back triples. They've had 4 straight hits in the inning. A single by Sheehan, an RBI single by Andrews, an RBI triple and E6 by Gary John Peron, who, by the way, is now a double shy of the cycle. He's got a single, a home run, and a triple. That depends on if the official scorebook keeps it as a triple or if they change it to something else. I don't think there's any reason why it wouldn't be, because he slid into third and then the throw got away and went into the Brookdale dugout. So I don't see any reason why that wouldn't be a triple. Either way, another triple by Martino. He's now 3 for 3. And Brookdale, in just 4 innings, has put up 10 hits and 7 runs. And they've already left the ballpark twice as well. Or, excuse me, just once with Gary John Peron. Runner on third, 2 outs. Ramirez, the batter, 1 for 2. First pitch is fouled back towards Delaware Ave. I think they were running low on baseballs there for a second. One count to Martinez. 1-1. Slider hit out towards right. This is up there. Going over Bowlby. It's called off by the right fielder, and the inning is over. Damage done. 3 runs across as Brookdale puts up a hitting clinic. They lead it 7-1 after 4. Top of the 5th inning. 7-1 Brookdale. We'll have to brush up on our run rule stats because, Gloucester beat Cumberland 12-1 last night, and I don't want the same mistake of of last night where I'm like, oh, that's a fly ball to right field, and that'll retire to side, and then everybody comes pouring out of the dugouts, and I look like a fool, but it's 0-1. Skips away. Oh, strike called. It's 0-2. Good bunch of folks filing in on this Friday afternoon in Camden. That hit the bat, or no, it did hit the elbow. Wasn't sure where it hit him, but it did. That'll be a hit by pitch for Bowlby. And now Dawson will bat. He's 0 for 2, but did reach on a dropped third strike in his last at-bat. Here's the first pitch. Strike called. Oh, 1. Got a piece of it, and it's foul. It's 0-2 quickly. Dawson and then Yanel Rodriguez. Oh, 2. Well outside. Johnny Johnson's going to come out. So Johnny Johnson going to talk to Mendez. One ball, 2 strikes. And the pitch. That one's going to skip past Andrews. Runner gets down to second. Bowlby at second. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the shortstop, Dawson. Mendez looks back, nods, and the 2-2. Swing and a miss. They'll send him down to first. Throw down is in time. Kernan tags the bag. And there's one away. That is the 7th strikeout. With Yanel Rodriguez coming up here. The sledgehammer's on deck, Demetrius Doremus. He was swinging it yesterday. Yes, that is a literal sledgehammer that he is swinging in the on-deck circle. He does it a couple of swings before taking up his actual bat. As this ball is hit out towards left center field, calling for it is Martino. He makes the catch. Throw is a little bit high coming in. However, it is the second out, and now Doremus will bat. So here's Doremus. And then Murphy, the DH, will be on deck. For the Mighty Oaks, they trail at 7-1. Certainly doesn't mean they're out of the picture, but they definitely, with the run rules in effect for every game but the title game, they certainly have to get themselves on the board sooner rather than later. It's not like Major League Baseball where you can be down 20 runs in the 9th inning and still come back. I mean, there's a point where they cut the cord. 1-0. Swing and a miss, 1-1. I honestly have never been a fan of run rules in college. In high school, I completely understand because the disparities between the best programs and the so-so programs is so wide that you see teams winning by 20, 25 runs sometimes when it's a really, really lopsided game. And the mercy rule prevents that from being worse. Second of all, they're kids. These are literal kids that are playing the high school game. In college, I don't have as much of a soft spot in that kind of way, for lack of a better word. That ball's hitting the shallow left. That's a base hit. Green light from John Holt. The ball gets kicked around by Gary John Peron. Throwing to second base gets away. It'll go to Kernan at first. Run scores. Runner gets down to second as Demetrius Damaris drives in a run, scoring Bowlby. And it's now 7-2. So if they can string a couple good hits together, I think that it'll work out. It's the fourth hit for Salem today. I mean, listen, every coach likes to preach to their players. Good things happen when you put the ball in play. And that very well will be true if they continue this in the fifth inning. That's lined into right. That's a base hit for Murphy. Picked up in right field. Here comes the throw to the plate. It's on a laser. He is out at the plate. Doremus slid in and just couldn't get there in time as the side is retired. We go to the bottom of the fifth. Salem gets one run, but cut down looking for another. It's 7-2. Leading off in the bottom of the fifth inning, let's take a look at this play where Doremus was cut down at home plate. Got a good piece of hitting there out to right field. I mean, that's not easy to hit right in that cue shot in the right side. And then coming around here, this is a great throw from Casey Gardner. Coming in, skips the cutoff. The throw is there. Yes, got him right before the plate. That's a great shot, and that is a great freeze frame as well. Doremus cut down at home, and I think we can make the determination that that was the correct call. 1-0 to Nunez to lead off the bottom of the fifth. Nunez stepped out. He had something in his back pocket that he just gave to the on-deck circle hitter. Salem got one run back on an RBI single. They tried another, but couldn't score. Thrown out at the plate. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Nunez, Kernan, and Gardner, 7, 8, and 9. That one misses. A busy day here in Camden on a Friday. Camden County College at the Freedom Mortgage Pavilion hosting their commencement today. I spend a lot of my weekends there, specifically at Dave Matthews Band concerts, but that one is bunted up the third base line and foul. That place has had so many names over the years, but it's always been like the Philly outdoor venue. They don't really have that. I mean, they have the Man, but that's not as big, and that place holds over, Camden at least holds over 25,000 people, and it has direct service from the River Line. I love going there. It's a great place. It's overpriced, but get a good show. That one is high. 3-2 the count. Opened in 1995. 5 years before Campbell's Field opened, where we're standing right now, the former home of Campbell's Field from 2000 to 2015. Nunez ropes the ball in the center field. Doremus coming in, and he makes the catch right at his midsection there. One away in the bottom of the fifth.
Now batting for the Jersey Blues, the first baseman, number 23, Rich Kernan.
So Kernan will bat. He homered in yesterday's win over Cumberland. 9-8 in 10 innings. And as I was saying, that place, the Tweeter Center was what it was called. When I was growing up, it was the BB&T Pavilion, but like I said, the Tweeter Center was the long-time name. But there were so many Tweeter Centers. It's kind of like how, I'm trying to think here. It's kind of like how there was one time where like 4 NBA arenas had like the same title sponsor back in the 2000s. And in this case, there was the Tweeter Center in Camden. There was another in Chicago. And another up near Boston. 1-1. 1-1 count to Kernan. So for 2 today, strikeout and a fly out to left in his 2 at-bats. Fastball hit out towards left field, hitting it the other way. It's going back. The wind might carry it. It's going to one-hop off the wall. Trouble in left field. Kernan on his horse. He's going to third. The throw is on time, but it is just a little bit late. It was a good angle, but it just came in a little bit behind. It is a 1-out triple for Brookdale. They say good things come in threes, and Brookdale certainly exemplifies that with their 3rd triple of the game. Here is Casey Gardner. Gardner, the right fielder, 1 away.
Now batting for Brookdale is the right fielder, Casey Gardner.
Never mind, I stand corrected. That is a double and an E7. So I'll take that remark away, but it is Salem's 2nd error of the game, and it still counts for Brookdale's 11th hit. Oh, wow, that hit him right in the back. And it's 1-1. Gardner 0 for 2. Ground out to third and a fly out to shallow center. And his last at-bat. Hit foul. Gardner swings and misses. Vanderster with strikeout number 5, his first since the 2nd.
Now batting, shortstop number 6, Justin Lopez.
This is the kind of game where Salem nor Brookdale really have to be all that conservative with their bullpen. Brookdale used 4 pitchers yesterday, because yesterday the philosophy was win and go home. If you won your first game, you didn't have to stay for a second, and you'd play in the winner's bracket today. But if you lost, you had to stick around for the loser's bracket game, which was at 6 o'clock last night. Didn't start until 7:30, but so on and so forth. As the 0-1 count. He bunts with 2 outs. It's popped up, and it goes foul back to the catcher, Velez. It's 0-2. But again, either way, in that regard, you have a 7-2 lead, and Brookdale's looking pretty good here. Winner gets their ticket punch to the finals with a 2-0 record. The loser of this game will stick around. And play RCSJ Gloucester, who is 1-1 after playing 2 games yesterday, losing to Salem and beating Cumberland in Mercy Rule fashion 12-1. I think yesterday might have been that time where the run rule was justified, just because we had been there so long, from 10:30 a.m. to 9-ish, as that ball is roped left center field. It's up, it's back, it's going to one-hop over the wall for a ground rule double. You don't see it often in Camden, but it counts just the same. It is an RBI over the left center field fence, and Lopez
Center fielder number 55, Declan Sheehan.
gets a ground rule double there, scoring Kernan. And it is now 8-2, Brookdale. Here's Kernan. Runner on second for the Jersey Blues, as Sheehan, 1 for 2, walk, strikeout, and a single. This broadcast is brought to you by Vincent's Lawn Care. Spring has sprung, and it's time to get your lawn in order. Vincent's Lawn Care, top-of-the-line landscaping in South Jersey, with service all throughout Camden County. You can call today for weekly service, bi-weekly service, or anytime. 609-413-0403. And again, if you're interested in being an advertiser for the summer and fall for Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, you can send us an email in the description of this YouTube video with an advertising inquiry, and we'll send you a flyer on how to get involved. 1-0. Misses high and away that time. Some fans for the second game on the Roadrunners side starting to file in and congeal with the Brookdale faithful. Two-1 is out. 3-1 here. Sheehan to be followed by Andrews, who had an RBI single in his first at-bat. As Brookdale has scored in every inning but the second. 1 here in the bottom of the 5th. Had 2 in the first, third, and 3 in the 4th. 3-1 is a swing and a miss. Big swing by Sheehan, a little bit on the outside corner. Three-two. Up at the helmet. It's ball 4. Pitcher is warming up, and has been warming up for a little while in the Salem bullpen. John Holt is coming out, and I think in an 8-2 lead, that marks the end of the journey for Jared Vanderster with Shane Andrews. It either marks the end of the journey or it's just going to be a go get him with 2 outs, but Holt coming out to talk to his man. Just the pitcher and catcher here for the meeting with Holt. And he'll break there, so they'll keep it going, and they'll keep Vanderster in the game with the mound visit that'll be charged to Holt. Andrews is the batter. He's 1 for 3, had an RBI single in his first at-bat, again for the product of Red Bank Catholic. One run across in the bottom half of the 5th. That's a ground ball, third base side. Oh, it's under the glove. That's in the left field. Coming around to score. That'll get the 9th run home. It is 9-2. Sheehan gets into third. Just slipped right underneath him. And an E5 charged against Kelly. Sheehan the third. Lopez scores. It's the second run across for Brookdale, who has had their scoring rather spread out today, as that one is high, 1-0. Here at the Camden Athletic Complex, beautiful field, one of South Jersey's pinnacle baseball venues, opened in 2021. Campbell's Field was torn down after the 2015 season. It stood up vacant for a little while, and then it was knocked down. And then COVID hit, knocked everything away. And Rutgers Camden returned here in the 2021 season for their regular season games. That's a line drive. Oh, no, that also hits his glove. Line drive right to him, and he drops it. Salem continues their defensive woes. It's their 4th error and their 2nd in a row. Scores another run. That's double digits for the Brookdale Jersey Blues here. And it's 10-2. Malik Little is hitting for Martino.
For the Jersey Blues is number 24, Malik Little.
3 runs across. They've scored 6 runs in the 4th and 5th innings. And we still got to get out of the 5th with Vanderster still in the game. The only team eliminated from this tournament is RCSJ Cumberland, losing twice yesterday to Brookdale and to Gloucester. That was a heartbreaker for Cumberland, losing in 10 innings in such a good back-and-forth game. I mean, both first-round games were incredible. Salem tied the game on a 2-run home run with 2 strikes and 2 outs in the top of the 9th, and then Cumberland had a couple of RBIs to rally themselves back to a tie game, again with 2 outs in the top of the 9th. Those 2-out rallies never seem to fail. And the 1-1 outside, 2-1. Same spot, 3-1. Malik Little, who started both games for the Jersey Blues in yesterday's action, or excuse me, started the only game that Brookdale played yesterday versus Cumberland. With his right foot right on the back edge of the box, he's going to walk. This is going to be batter number 9. John Holt still right hand on the top rail of the first base side dugout. They leave Vanderster in. And the bases are loaded. Let's see what they've got. Ninth batter of the frame, 3 runs across. That one is high to Ramirez at the eyes. Again, the next game will be the loser of this game and RCSJ. Gloucester, that is. Cumberland was eliminated last night. 1-1. First 3 for Salem in the top of the 6th will be Velez, Hacker, and Kelly, 5, 6, and 7. 1-1 from Vanderster. Slipped a little bit there, did a little pirouette on the hill, and it's 2-1. One of the things I've noticed is that the bullpen mounds are slightly higher than the actual pitcher's mound here in Camden. And I have found, especially at the high school level, some pitchers really don't have the best grip when pitching from the turf mound here, and it takes them a little while to get used to it. Trying to get a little extra there as it's 3-1. Nunez would be the next batter. He started out this inning with a line out to center field, but Salem trying to avoid the worst case scenario with a 3-1 count and an 8-run game. Ball 4. The run scores. It's now 11-2, 9-run game. And a bases loaded walk brings Salem a little bit closer to the brink here. And with this being Holt's second mound visit, Vanderster will come out of the game. And they're going to toss it to the second baseman, it looks like, who will come in relief. That is, they made a couple of defensive changes before the inning. That it looks like Bowlby. No, excuse me. It is number 20 for the Mighty Oaks, that being Andre Stewart out of the Academy of Palumbo. John Holt makes a pitching change, down 9. Brookdale's got 4 runs across. It is 11-2. We'll be right back.
Batting for Brookdale, Junior Nunez.
All right, go ahead. Andre Stewart is the batter. Salem on the brink. Run wins it for Brookdale in run rule action. 10 runs in 5 innings. They're up by 9. They'll be kind of putting you on the brink with bases loaded in a 9-run game with 2 outs. Andre Stewart is the do-or-die candidate here. He's the freshman right-hander out of the Academy of Palumbo in Philadelphia. If he doesn't get out of the inning, well, then the game's over, and we'll have a 30-minute break going into game 2. Hit out towards right for Nunez. It's up there, back towards the line, back towards the wall. It is foul. It just tucked in front of the 3-11 sign. And it's 1-2. Palumbo as a pitcher pitched 17 2/3 innings this year, 11 strikeouts, 16 walks, a high ERA of 12.74. But John Holt pivoting from Vanderster after giving up the first 11 runs. This is the 10th batter of the inning in Junior Nunez. He started out the inning with a line out to center field. 1-2 is high. It skips away, and that's going to do it. Brookdale will win the game on a run rule on a passed ball. They win it 12-2, and the penultimate inning was a 5-run fifth that takes care of business. So we know one of 2 teams that will be in the final. It is the Brookdale Jersey Blues. They win this one 12-2, and they'll shake hands with John Holt and company behind home plate as the winner's bracket makes Brookdale 2-0.
Final score of
And they will be the top card going into tomorrow's championship round. We'll figure out who goes into the championship. It's either going to be the Salem Mighty Oaks or the RCSJ Roadrunners. We'll have a 30-minute break between game 1 and 2. We'll be back in just a little bit. We have to make a new link for our YouTube games today. That will come up in the next 5 or 10 minutes, and then we will have game 2 of the semifinals today between the Salem Mighty Oaks and the RCSJ Roadrunners. We'll be right back.